They have sacrificed their personal time, resources, and risked media criticism to attend this gathering, allowing us to honor their efforts to ensure your individual rights, liberties, and responsibilities is defined under the Constitution of the United States. Many of them have encountered the current onslaught against that constitutional way of life and have taken an extraordinary personal stand by placing themselves between that onslaught and the citizens who elected them. They have identified many of the tactics used and they have identified potential solutions, but they need our awareness and support. Unfortunately, it is also my assignment to try and keep 7 armed lawmen and an attorney having the power to incarcerate me to approximately 5 minutes each. Anyone who would like to speak, please feel free to introduce yourself after I introduce our own Sheriff John Lope.
First of all, thank you very much for being here, and I'm honored to be the first sheriff to speak because we got an outstanding panel of sheriffs, some of the best sheriffs in California as far as I'm concerned. And one of the things that really, thank you. And one of the things that really encourages us, the people of Siskiyou County, is the fact that not only do I have backup from all these great sheriffs and an attorney, which is sometimes rare, but we also have backup from all you great citizens. Thank you very much for being here and supporting us. You are an inspiration to us, and you're our heroes. Now I'm going to just spend a couple minutes telling you why you might think, well, why are sheriffs involved in this coordination and this government controversy? Well, because all sheriffs are sworn to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. And the California Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And quite frankly, I spent time in Afghanistan and Iraq, and I tell my lovely wife Maxine sometimes it seems like I get more friendly fire than enemy fire. And everybody's not real happy with what we're doing, but essentially what we're doing is we're standing up for the people. And I know these great sheriffs up here will tell you the same thing, but I don't know how many countless meetings I've been to with our federal and state officials, and I must say some federal and state officials are cooperative and do coordinate with us, but some of them do not. And I don't know how many times I've heard, well, why are you doing this? Why are you picking on the people? And usually I hear it's the fish. And usually I say, hey, you know what? We love fish. If we didn't live in Siskiyou County, I mean, that's why we live here, because we love the great outdoors. And yes, we want to preserve the fish. We want to preserve wildlife. We want to preserve the environment. Of course we do. Because Siskiyou County, to me, is the most beautiful place in the world, and some of our sheriffs up here live in great counties as well. But one of the retorts I have to them is, well, hey, you know, I try to remember continuously, we serve the people. You don't work for us, we work for you. And I just like a little bit of balance between the need to protect the environment, things like fish, because most of the people in my county are telling me, hey, you know what? Some of you federal and state agencies care more about fish, frogs, trees, and birds than you do about the human race. What's that all about? And one more thing. We're broke. Why are you doing stupid stuff to make us poorer? Why don't you let the people work? Why don't you let the people thrive? Why don't you let our economy grow and not go backwards? When my And, you know, we have the dams, we have transportation management issues, we have forest management issues, and just one thing with public safety, almost every single decision made by federal and state governments impacts public safety and the health and welfare of our people. That's why the sheriffs are involved. And they also are there to uphold the law. And a lot of these federal agencies are not properly coordinating or cooperating with us, which is required by law. So these great sheriffs up here, and I've been involved in that the last 10 months, is to force these federal and state agencies to start serving the people and coordinate and start balancing your decisions with the needs of the people. I could go on and on, but those are just a few of the reasons the sheriffs are intimately involved in this fight, because if we don't stand up, we are right now in a fight for our survival. We are fighting not only for ourselves, more importantly, we're fighting for the survival of our counties, of our local communities, and our children and our grandchildren. And if we don't save things like agriculture and we let them take our water and land and push us off, we won't have any public safety. We'll have no quality of life. We'll have nothing. And I think I've said enough. I guess I'm going to hand this over to Dean Wilson. And I would like to say these are very distinguished sheriffs. I have Dean Wilson from Del Norte County, and he's a good guy, and he's from the coast too. My friend Bruce Haney from Trinity County. Tom Basenko from Shasta County. The famous Greg Hagwood from Plumas County. And Karen is our backup attorney, and she's one of the few attorneys, her and Kirk Andrus and some of our prosecutors. I mean, she is helping us out up here, backing us up, and she's a great citizen. She's helping us out, and we really appreciate having her. Sheriff Palmer from Grant County in Oregon. And Gil Gilbertson from Josephine County would have been here, and Mike Poindexter from Modoc County in California would have been here too, but he's in Hawaii, and I said, you know, maybe you better go in Hawaii with your wife. She deserves it. And who else do we have down there? We have Dave Hencraft from Chahama County. Another road warrior. And Dean Grouden from Lassen County, and they're just the greatest sheriffs in the community. Give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, we thought we'd just spend a couple minutes. Each sheriff will tell you some of the issues that are going on in their counties. We're all in a struggle, all of them. And by the way, I also wanted to, we have all our board of supervisors here and all these great public officials that are here who are supporting the cause. Thank you for being here. I know that I've seen all the Siskiyou County Board of Supervisor members and representatives from the state and the senator and the Senate Assembly and Wally Herger's office. Thank you for being here. And just one more time, thank you for all of you for being here, especially those who traveled from outside the area. Thanks for supporting us. God bless you. I'm sorry. I had to tell you one quote. Just one quote, okay, before I get off the mic here. It's from Thomas Jefferson, and I don't know why it seems applicable, but Thomas Jefferson once said that if the people fear the government, what do you got?
Tyranny.
You got tyranny. Now, if the government is afraid of the people, what do you have?
Freedom.
The L word, liberty. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you for inviting us here to Wairika. As Sheriff of Del Norte County, it has been an honor to serve my community for the past 9 years. When I got into law enforcement and when I was elected sheriff, I was ignorant and naive of not only my responsibilities and my duties, but also the terrible condition that our state was in, not being involved in politics. Once elected, however, going back and forth to Sacramento, I quickly learned that the state of California was in deep trouble, that Sacramento was incredibly dysfunctional, that this was not a Democrat problem or a Republican problem. This was a problem that plagued both houses, and neither one seemed to be capable of solving it. I became involved in our Tea Party, and in so doing, I learned not only that I had spent a good part of my life enforcing the penal code, but not understanding my oath. Since that time, I have looked at not only what I do as a sheriff, but what my department does. And I have learned that the assault that's being committed against the people of our community by our own government. And today, it was about a year ago when I had a meeting with our Grange. They invited me to talk with the U.S. Forest Service manager. At that point in time, I learned about a little-known thing called the Travel Management Plan. This travel management plan exists if you have U.S. Forest Service lands or federal lands that are in the hands and managed by the government, the federal government. There is a travel management plan that has been put forward. This travel management plan was calling for not only limiting but also decommissioning roads within our community. They had done this without my knowledge. They had engaged in this activity without the knowledge in large part of our county government. They were engaged with talks with several off-road vehicle groups that were in our area about the desire. But these meetings, although congenial, there was no need for the government to actually comply or meet with any of the demands or requests from the local groups that were involved in these meetings. Once I learned that they were talking about doing to my community in our county and the direct impact that it was going to have on public safety, I immediately started to engage in coordination with our local government and with the federal government agencies that were involved. I informed the other sheriffs that have those types of things in their areas to look at this, to please take a look and see if this is going on in their areas, because if it is in mine, and it had been for over a year without my knowledge, that it was going on in their areas and their communities as well. We have an assault upon our community. One of the greatest things about Del Norte County is we have everything that we need to be self-sustaining, self-reliant, and to have a thriving economy. We can live in harmony and sustain our environment, whether it's through fishing or timber. But those things have been denied for us and from us by our government. 74% of Del Norte County is either in federal or state holdings right now. Their influence on us is crippling our community and our economy. And as sheriff, I have taken it upon as part of my responsibility to the public safety, well-being, and welfare of my community to seek out and try to stop any infringement upon the rights of our property, our lives, or our liberties within Del Norte County.